It's been a very inspirational show today. We've had Elliot Marshall and Sergio Pettis, and when I announced that this man right here, Colby Covington, will be back on the show, wow, like 98% of the comments were positive. You missed him. You actually like him now. You actually want to hear from this man. How funny things go sometimes. Things have changed. There he is, back on the program. It has been a while. Colby Covington here to join us once again. Colby, how are you?
Man, it feels so good to be back, Ariel, man. The journalist of the year, the journalist of the decade. Man, I'm so honored to be in your presence today and get to talk to you.
Well, thank you. We didn't get you on before the fight, 245. I felt a little weird about that. We've been through so much, but here you are. You were a man of your word. You told me you talked to us first after the fight, and a month and a half or so later, here you are on the program. So first things first, just want to know, how are you feeling? Because you didn't speak after the fight. You didn't go to the press conference. You went to the hospital. There were reports that you broke your jaw. Clear it up for us. Did you in fact break your jaw in that fight?
You know, I've been taking time to myself since the fight, and I've been sitting back and I wanted to see if these so-called journalists in the MMA world were going to actually sit back and look at this and analyze the fight, what really happened. And I've been sitting back, Ariel, and no one's been analyzing the fight objectively and calling it fair right down the middle. I'm not talking about you, Ariel. I mean, you have award-winning podcasts. You're working for ESPN. I mean, you got basketball games. I mean, you're the busiest man in all of sports right now. But I'm talking about these other so-called MMA journalists. And these aren't even journalists that actually got their journalism degrees like the great Stephen A. Smith. But these are so-called MMA journalists with their YouTube channels, and they're in their mom's basement and they're eating Cheetos, and they can't call this fight fair. They can't actually look at the facts of the fight. Go look and review the tape of what happened on December 14th at UFC 245 and give a fair call. Call it down the center. What actually happened? Let's talk about the bullet points, Ariel.
Okay.
The first round, I wipe him up. Pillar to post. 10-9 round. Easy first round for me. The second round, I kick him in the guts. He's ready to quit. And all of a sudden, he looks at Marc Goddard. Can I get a timeout? Nice shot. Let me call a nut shot. The dude got hit in the liver and he was ready to fold up like a lawn chair. And then all of a sudden he wants to call it nut shot. That's the fakest foul I've ever heard in all of fighting. Okay, whatever. No big deal. We go to the third round. The third round, Marty Fake Newsman gets poked in the eye on the left eye, and he's holding his right eye. He's selling to the doctor that, my right eye. Oh, my right eye. Dude, you got poked in the left eye. Like, what are you doing? You're faker than fake. That's why you're Marty Fake Newsman, because you're making fake excuses. You want a momentum change, and that's what this is all about. The second round, when he took the nut shot, that he took my momentum away. The third round, he does the eye poke. He takes my momentum away. No big deal. It's okay. I don't want things fair. I'm a man of integrity. Marty Fake Newsman, Marc Goddard, they're not men of integrity. But that's another point in itself. Third round. How is it? I don't remember Ariel ever going on the mic and saying, "Hey guys, I got a broken jaw." How did my corner audio get released in the third round? I talked to my head coach, Conan Silver. I said, "Conan, something's wrong with my jaw. It might be a little, it might be broken. Big deal. I'm going to keep fighting because that's what I do. I fight like the troops. I leave it all out there. I put it all on the line. I sacrifice everything. And all I wanted was a fair fight. I wanted to fight to the death, and I got robbed of that. But whatever. We go to the fourth round. I get poked by Marty Fake Newsman. Marc Goddard looks at me. He's like, "No more timeouts. You guys keep fighting. No more timeouts. I'm not stopping it." So he sees a clear foul while I get poked. But the fouls that he didn't see before, where I kicked him in the liver, an eye poke on the other side, and he's claiming it's on this side. I'm getting my corner audio. When he sees a foul, he doesn't call it. But let's talk about the fifth round. I'm beating his ass again. I've won the whole entire fight. The fight's mine. They're about to wrap the welterweight championship around my waist. And then all of a sudden I slip on a banana peel and I'm getting hit in the back of the head. And Marc Goddard is seeing this right in front of his face that I'm getting hit in the back of the head. You can go look at the video of the fifth round. I take 4 shots in the back of the head and I'm completely coherent. And I cover up the back of my head. And when I cover up the back of my head, he calls the fight. And I stand right up and I protest. I'm like, "What are you doing? Why are you calling the fight? I'm winning the whole entire fight. There's less than a minute left in the fight. You see a foul right in front of your face and you don't call it. But then when you don't see a foul in front of your face, you give him time and you throw him a life raft in a river when he's drowning." So, that's why he's named Mark Not So Goodard. And he shouldn't be a ref ever again. I feel bad for all the people out there that ever have to deal with him as a ref. And look at the next week. Frankie Edgar had to die in a fight, just because Mark Goddard was trying to do a makeup call because he fucked it up and did such a bad job in the fight against me and Marty Fake Newsman.
Wow. Okay. So you said a lot there. I appreciate that. I appreciate you breaking it down. One thing you didn't confirm: did you in fact break your jaw in the fight?
No, I didn't break my jaw in my fight. Does my jaw look broken? I've been smiling. I've been with all my mamacitas. The only person that's gotten their jaw wired shut is 50 Cent.
How did he get involved in all of this? What's the story there?
Because he came out after the fight and he was talking mad crap on me, man. He was just saying all this stuff about me, talking all this smack, all MAGA dog, that MAGA fighter, Colby Covington, putting all these Instagram posts up. So I want to propose here on Ariel Helwani's show today. I want to do a celebrity boxing match. I'm going to tie one hand behind my back and I'm going to fight 50 Cent. I'm going to put up $1,000,000 of my dollars and I want to fight 50 Cent in a celebrity boxing match. And I'm going to donate all my money to the troops because I love the troops so much. They protect our freedoms. They put it all on the line for America. And I just, I want to fight 50 Cent.
Wow. Okay. So you want to fight 50 Cent in a boxing match and you will tie which hand around your back?
I'm going to tie my left hand behind my back or my right hand. He can pick which one. It really doesn't matter because both are lethal. We
Right.
got Bugattis on both knuckles. So I'll let him pick which hand he wants to put behind my back.
Okay. There you go. Just going back to the beginning, why have you remained quiet for so long? I mean, like I said, a month and a half, people were wondering what's up with you, how you're feeling, what your plans are. Why did you take a break from everything?
I just kind of wanted to sit back and I wanted to see how people were going to talk about the fight. I wanted to see all these so-called MMA journalists. I wanted to see how they were going to call it. If they were going to call it down the line, if they were going to call it fair, if they were going to take their feelings out, Ariel, because I know I am the most hated man in the UFC and the most hated man in sports right now. But man, put your feelings to the side for a second. That's what real journalism is. Break down the fight, actually analyze the fight, tell me what happened in the fight, break down each round. Let's talk about the fake nut shot. Let's talk about the fake eye poke. Let's talk about the fake stoppage, the fake rep. Let's talk about the fake NSAC, the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Let's talk about how they dropped the ball. How did they give my corner audio in the third round when Marty Fake Newsman was ready to quit and give up? But all of a sudden he gets reinvigorated because he knows I have a broken jaw and he gets that information from his corner. How is he allowed? How is that possible, Ariel?
Wait, but isn't that on the UFC? Weren't they the ones who broadcasted that moment?
I mean, I don't know if it's on the UFC or if it's in the Nevada Athletic Commission, but someone needs to be held accountable for this, man. That like I don't expect to get a fair fight. I know everybody hates me, but I'm fighting not only two people in the octagon. I'm fighting Marty Fake Newsman, and I'm fighting a corrupt, incompetent ref. And then I also have to fight against the Nevada Athletic Commission releasing my corner audio. I thought we were supposed to be 25 feet away in the octagon and there's no supposed to be any audio of your corner what's going on in between rounds. But how is it that that gets broadcasted to the world and when we're in a 20,000 sold out arena and everybody's going crazy, how is it that that gets that corner advice back to the other corner that I have a broken jaw? And
So you
it's
think
just not
Kamaru
fair, man.
somehow in the midst of the event, in the midst of the fight, finds out about this? I mean, this is no different than Macy Barber, right? When they were talking about her knee and Roxanne could hear about, but like how would he get that information in the middle of the fight?
It's easy because
So,
everybody's talking about it on social media and they're
okay,
talking about it
someone's
on the
gotcha.
broadcast there. Yeah, they're talking about it on the broadcast, and then it's so easy just to go over to their corner and then tell them, hey, Colby just said he has a broken jaw. There's a minute in between rounds, so those that kind of information gets out real quickly when you're talking about social
Interesting.
media and people talking about it on the broadcast. So it's just not fair, man. And they need to run this back. There's 10 more rounds of this, Ariel. Everybody knows that. There's going to be a sequel and there's going to be a trilogy to this. Marty Fake Newsman is the only one in the world that doesn't want this fight. The people want this fight. I am the people's champ for a reason, and I fight for the people. But Mark Not So Goodard robbed the people of a fair fight. He robbed the fight of a fight down the middle, and this needs to be ran back, Ariel. And if it's not run back, man, it's a very corrupt business, and it's a fix, and it's corrupt. And if I was Marty Fake Newsman, I would not accept a win like that, Ariel. I would not. I would run it back immediately because You're not a man. If you accept winning like that, you're not a man because you took breaks in the fight. You changed the momentum of the fight. You had a ref that was helping you in the fight. You had corner audio, all these things, and you still got your ass beat every single fucking round.
So to be clear, what you're saying is you want an immediate rematch. You want your next fight and Usman's next fight to be you versus him, part two, right?
Part two. There's 10 more minutes of this, Ariel. I beat him. I beat his ass every round. He got saved by a ref. So there needs to be a part two, and it needs to be ran back immediately. I know he's out there faking injuries, making fake excuses, making fake narratives already about a hand, but this needs to get, there needs to be justice, and that by the end of this year, I will have that belt wrapped around my waist. And not that that belt means anything because it's a Power Ranger belt, and who could give a shit less, but it's a belt for the people, and the people want a fair fight. They pay their hard-earned money. They go to work 9 to 5 every single day to work so hard and put it all on the line so they can spend it to the UFC. And they want a fair fight, fair judges, and we need to run this back immediately, Ariel.
I don't know if you saw this, but last week, I believe it was, Kamaru Usman was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he said this about you, quote, "He really showed how good he is, and I give respect when respect is due. I'm no hater. I know he could fight. I know he was good. I knew he was tough, and I knew he was a competitor as well. He's always been a competitor." He went on to say he thinks that you are the second best guy in the division and that perhaps you will meet down the line. So it seemed like... No. Why is that? It seems like he was giving you props.
Yeah. I mean, he's the second best fighter in the world. No doubt about it, Ariel. If you talk about the king of the welterweight mountain, you see Marty Fake Newsman in second place and Colby Chaos Covington right up top, but there's no one else. We're above the rest of the pack. That's why this needs to get ran back immediately, and if it doesn't, then there's no just to the system, everybody gets rematches in this sport, and it's a great fight. Everybody loved it, but the people made their, they said what they wanted. They want the rematch. Everybody's talking about this fight. They want the rematch. So
Uh, did you realize that the fans were missing you so much? Like I was shocked every time we've had you on in the past. It's Colby. You mentioned most hated guy in the UFC. And yesterday the comments were all about you. Oh, he's back. He's back. Can't wait to hear from Colby. How did this happen? Just because you lost the fight, now everyone loves you. Have you noticed this as well? And how do you digest this when they hated you? It seemed like for so long. Now it seems like there's so many new fans of yours.
isn't it crazy, Ariel, that, I want people to hate me, and I've went about my business, and I've wanted people to hate me, but they're still cheering for me. They're cheering in the T-Mobile Arena at UFC 245 when I walk down the aisle. Kobe, Kobe, USA, USA, USA. I didn't hear Nigeria. I didn't hear Marty Fake Newsman. No one cares about Marty because they see through his act. They see how fake he is. His personality is trash, man. He's a human trash bag. I mean, literally, a mop has more charisma than Marty Fake Newsman. People love me because they see how real I am. I'm honest. I call it right down the line, and I've never had, I don't ask for fair fights. I just all I ask is that I'm going to keep, overcoming things, and that's what Americans is all about. We face adversity, but we got to overcome it. It doesn't matter if the deck's stacked against you. You got to keep fighting and you got to keep earning it. And I think that's why people are starting to come around to me and they like me. And if they like me or love me, Ariel, like I always say, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. And I'm going to keep doing what I do, putting it all on the line for the fans. That's why they call me the people's champ, America's champ, and Donald Trump's favorite fighter.
That being said, on the Sunday after your loss, it did seem like people were reveling in the fact that you had a broken jaw. I'm wondering, did the president reach out to you and offer you any support?
He did, yeah. He called me right after the fight. I got some great words of support for him. He left me a voicemail before the fight. I can't thank the First Family and Donald Trump for everything they've done to support me in my career and just lift me up when I needed a little boost. Those people are so real, man. People don't see past the fake news media. They just see what they read. They don't believe what they actually witness. And and having to go against two people in an octagon. I thought a referee was supposed to be a fly on the wall, but instead he wanted to make it about him. And it's sad because I went in the locker room. I'm like, Mark Goddard, you do not stop this fight. I fight to the death. You do not even think about stopping this fight if I slip on a banana peel. I fight to the death. Unless I'm unconscious inside that octagon, I do not want this fight stopped. That's what I signed up for. So don't rob me of what I signed up for. And the fact that he robbed me of what I signed up for is pathetic. And Mark Goddard should never ref a UFC fight ever again in his entire life. And and I want my rematch right away.
And just to be clear, did you ever have an issue with him in the past? Did he ever ref one of your fights or friends or teammates fights and you felt like he wasn't calling it down the line, or was this your first issue with him?
No, I've never had any issues with him, but I know that he hates Trump, and I know that he's a big Michael Bisping fan and a big Darren the Tillboy Doughboy Till fan. So he hates me. I knew he had out for me for the second he came in the locker room. Ariel, he came in the locker room and like I was warming up, and he's Kobe right here, right now. I'm like, what, dude? What are you? You're not my boss. You don't tell me what to do, man. Like, I'll come to you when I'm ready to come to you. Like, don't make this show about you, man. You're supposed to be a fly on the wall. You're not supposed to take over and make the show about you. But that's what he was all about. He was about making the show about him. Oh, I'm gonna stop giving fake nut shot. I'm gonna interject in between the fight, get my FaceTime in the middle of a UFC World Championship fight. Oh, let's make this about the ref. Let me get my character over. And it's sad, that because obviously you see the next week, Frankie had to die because of it, so it's just he'll never ref one of my fights ever again as long as I live. I promise you that.
Wednesday of last week, Miami, Radio Row, footage emerges of Usman and Masvidal getting into it. What did you make of that scene?
Oh man, that was a funny scene. Everybody knew that was, set up from the start. They got the cameras out. Oh, let's make this look like it's a real drama. That ain't real drama, man. That's you guys just trying to sell something that's not even there. I mean, we got Street Judas on one hand. The guy's pathetic, man. He's got a mediocre average record. He's the he's the broken mediocre fighter champion. No one cares about him. He's so fake and he's a bottom tier fighter. He's not going to be ready to fight at the world championship level. And Marty Fake Newsman, he's just trying to do something. He's got no way to sell a fight, and he's got no friends, obviously, because no one's even watching his back. So you could tell how likable he is as a person. No one cares about Marty Fake Newsman. But let's be honest, Ariel. You really think that Street Judas, also known as Journeyman George Masvidal, is really going to fight Marty Fake Newsman, or is he going to look and wait for that Conor fight or wait for a Nate Diaz fight, an easier fight where he has a realistic chance to win because he's not beating anybody in the top of the division like myself or Marty Fake Newsman. So, I don't see him taking that fight anytime soon. And I think that's going to set up the rematch with me and Marty Fake Newsman.
On Friday, Dana White was doing media at Radio Row and whatnot, Will Kane show, Jim Rome, and he said that they're going to do that fight International Fight Week in Las Vegas. How did you feel when he said that? Were you disappointed? Did you think you had a chance? And do you still feel like you have a chance to get it next?
To be honest, that's the first time I've heard that. So, you just let me know that. I don't pay attention to anything Dana says anymore. And I think George is going to ask for too much money, and it's going to come down to a money issue. And then, who they're going to have to call? They're going to have to call the bad guy for hire, Colby Chaos Covington, Donald Trump's favorite fighter. Got my son, Keep America Great hat on. We got our new campaign coming out this year. 2020 is going to be a big year, Ariel. So, I'll be ready International Fight Week. If Journeyman George Masvidal, aka Street Judas, pulls out or is waiting for that Conor fight because he doesn't want to lose his steam off of what he's got going. Because let's be honest, that's all he's got. Street Judas, Journeyman George Masvidal, he hit lightning in a bottle, Ariel, and he knows he needs to capitalize off that lightning in a bottle. He's all hype. He's all hype. He has what, 14 fucking losses on his record? He's a journeyman 50-50 fighter. What's his record in the last 10 fights? 5-5? That guy deserves a title shot. That's not what the people want. The people want me, Ariel, and I'm the people's champion for a reason. I fight for the people. If I don't get my rematch, they're doing the people wrong.
After the fight, it did seem like Dana White gave you props in the media and the scrum afterwards and whatnot. And I thought maybe that this was a bit of an olive branch, if you will. Did you not take it that way?
I don't know. I honestly, like I said before, I didn't pay attention to anything Dana says, and I'm just focused on me and the people around me that really care about me. They want to give me a fair shake in life. The people that you know that want to give me things the real way. And I earned everything the hard way, and for him to take it away and not give me a rematch when it was blatant that I got cheated. I mean, look at the momentum shifts in the fight, man. I won the whole entire fight. I was up 3-1 on the judges' scorecards. On one scorecard, one was 2-2 going into the fifth. I mean, it's my fight, and to get cheated and have to fight against two people. And look at that guy. He's juiced out of his mind on EPO, and they never even tested him before the fight. to have all that and overcome all that adversity and still beat his ass for 25 minutes, everybody knows I'm the real world champion. Just because I don't have some fake Power Ranger belt around my waist doesn't mean anything. I'm still the people's champ. I'm still America's champ. And you have not seen the best Colby Chaos Covington yet. I promise you that. Mark my words, Ariel.
I have to ask, last weekend, Michael Chiesa called you out. What did you make of that? Did you hear that one?
Nah, didn't hear that. I haven't been, like I said, I haven't been paying attention to anything to do with the UFC. I've been enjoying a little vacation. I was out running the mountains of Oregon with my good friend Cameron Haynes. That guy inspires me so much, man. He pumps me up, and man, now I'm back on the journey. I'm back on the gravy train, and I'm ready to get back to work, man. He inspired me, man. Seeing a guy like that who runs ultra marathons, a guy like that who puts it all on the line every day. He has a regular job, but he's up in the morning at 5 a.m. running a 3 to 5 mile mountain uphill, and then he goes back to work, and then he goes back to the hill, runs another 3 to 5 miles, and then he goes to the gym and he's lifting weights. So, this is a guy who is so inspiring and so motivating to me, and he just made me find my hunger and my fire and my passion for competing again and for working out. And man, I'm ready to get back on the train. The Colby train ain't getting stopped this year, Ari. I promise you that.
So you predict this time next year you're the champ already. By the end of the year, you will have fought for the belt and will have won that belt.
Yeah, as long as no more excuses are being made, no more fake injuries, fake narratives out there. I will be the champ. As long as you lock me back in that cage and give me a fair fight with Marty Fake Newsman, I guarantee he's not making it out alive.
Did you have a week or two after the fight where you licked your wounds, where you felt bad, where you were down because this was your big title fight, finally fighting for the belt? How did you react to the loss?
I reacted, mainly just that, I was cheated.
Hmm.
That's what sucked. That was what was hard to swallow is that, I got cheated. I had a very bad ref in there. I had to fight two guys there that night. And I wasn't really mad. I've already won a UFC world title. I'm already a world champion. I've already done everything there is to do in this sport. First and only fighter to ever go to the White House and hang out with a sitting president. You know, I've done everything. So, I wasn't really disappointed in the loss. I was disappointed of how the loss came about. And that was in a cheating way. Marty Fake Newsman, he's a fake, he's a cheat, he's a coward, he has no integrity. And, to win a fight like that, man, I wouldn't accept winning a fight like that, Ariel. That's, if you give me a fight where the ref just was all in my favor and giving me fake foul calls, and then when I'm fouling the other guy, not calling the actual foul calls, I wouldn't accept winning that way, and I'd want a run back and a rematch immediately because, that's not a right way to win. So, you know, I didn't hang my head low if that's what you're talking about. Everybody's like, "Oh man, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should hang your head." On what, man? I went out there and put it all on the line for 25 minutes. What have you ever done that you've put it all on the line for 25 minutes? You're too busy eating Cheetos in your mom's basement, man. You're working 9 to 5 jobs, and why are you gonna hate on me? I'm at the top of my sport, and I've done everything there is to do in this sport, and I blatantly just got cheated. So, I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I don't want any sympathy. I just want to get back on the train, and I want my rematch, and I want what's right. That's what's more important. Don't let the truth and the facts hurt your feelings. Let's call it right. Let's call it objectively, and let's call it fair. That's all I ask for in the future.
Two more things, and again, thank you very much for the time, Colby. Have you been back to ATT? A lot of talk about how you would be received by Masvidal, by Poirier, Joanna, Amanda Nunes, all these people. Have you been back? And if so, what's it been like?
I haven't been back to be honest. I've been training on my own dime. I've been training on my own time. Doing my own thing. I've been in Oregon. I went to Oregon to visit my family for the holidays. Visit my high school wrestling team. Giving back. To the youth and to my high school wrestling team, running those guys through wrestling practices for a couple weeks, training with my buddy Cam Haynes, and I'm just getting back to Florida now. So I'm going to go back to American Top Team this week, and I'm not worried about those guys. You're talking about guys. What are they going to do to me? They can't do anything to me. I'm the best fighter in the world. I'm the best fighter that's ever been seen in the welterweight division. So, I'm not really too worried about those jobbers, and I'm going to keep doing what I do because that's what kings do. Just like my good friend Candace Owens told me, kings don't worry about the opinions of cockroaches, Ariel. Thank you, Candace Owens. I love you. Thank you so much for coming to my fight and supporting me. I will have you wrap that belt around my waist this year. I've marked my words, Candace Owens.
The night before your fight, John Jones at a press conference called you an habitual liar and a horrible person. Were you? He's fighting this weekend, of course. Were you bothered by those comments?
I'm not bothered by those comments at all. You know, he sounds so delusional. You're talking about a guy that hit a pregnant lady at a red light stop and then fled to the foothills with all his drugs and all his, alcohol and cocaine. You're talking about a guy who had two hookers in the back of his Bentley that the UFC gave him, and he wrecked that and crashed that on a pole. And he's supposed to have his wife and kids at home. Oh, I'm about God. I'm about my family. I'm a good husband. Dude, you just wrecked a Bentley with two hookers in the back and you got cocaine all in your system. Like, who's the habitual liar, man? I've always been honest. I call things fair and I call them right down the center. And sometimes I'm too real and sometimes I'm too brutally honest. But hey, man, you got to respect a guy, that calls it brutally honest. That's what I'm here for. So, John Coke Jones, the guy's an afterthought. No one cares about him anymore. That's why when he came on the show today, none of the fans, even talked about him or said any comments about him, Ariel, because they see through his act, man. The guy's faker than fake. And the guy's completely lying all the time. Oh, I'm about God. I'm about my family. No, you're not, dude. You're about cocaine. You're about hookers. You're about drugs. You're about steroids. How many steroid tests have you failed? So if there's any habitual liar, that's John Jones.
Colby, welcome back. Nice to hear from you again. Nice to have you on the program. So you've made it very clear that's what you want. You want the rematch. You want to fight Kamaru Usman, and you're not settling for anything else. You're sitting out until they give you that. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. I will be sitting out until they give me my rematch and my world championship that I never lost. So it's world championship or bust, or unless they can find some other, big massive fight that goes to that degree. But I don't see them doing that. So I'm fighting for a world championship, or I might not ever fight again. We'll just have to see.
Okay. Thank you very much, Colby. We'll leave it at that. Appreciate the time. Glad to hear that your jaw wasn't, in fact, broken in the fight. And, great fight, great performance, one of the best fights of the year. And would like to see it again at some point. And I wish you the best in trying to secure that rematch sooner rather than later. So appreciate you coming on, my man, and we'll talk to you very soon. Thanks for the time.
Thank you to the journalist of the decade, Ariel Helwani. It was an honor, and I look forward to next time we do it again.
Hello, everyone. It's Ariel Helwani. I just came here to thank you for watching our ESPN YouTube channel. It's the best. You know what else is the best? The ESPN app. You can get highlights, analysis, all that stuff and more. And if you want premium content and live streaming sports, there's only one place for all of that. It's ESPN Plus.